I want to talk about why I think software development is one of the greatest careers that you can possibly pursue. In 2025, it's no secret that we live in difficult times in terms of the economy. We live in a difficult job market, and we just have a lot of difficulties in life. And I don't think your job, should be one of them. I really don't. I think that you spend too much time at your job to not enjoy it. You spend a minimum, 40 hours a week? That's a long time. That's a third of your week. So if you don't enjoy a third of your life, because really, you're spending a third working, a third sleeping, and a third doing chores, right? Just taking care of basic necessities. If you don't enjoy that third, that's a big problem. And life is simply too short to not enjoy that third. Software development, I think, is one of the rare careers that it is possible to actually enjoy if you pursue it correctly. And on this channel, you can trace back periods where I have enjoyed it, and I've documented periods where I have not enjoyed it, and I've become overwhelmed, and I had to take a leave of absence um, to address my own mental health. And coming out of that, and kind of, I've been in this practice of trying to reframe how I see this job and just reframe how I'm thinking about it. And I've completely altered my routine where I don't work at home exclusively as much. I try to go out, whether it's to coffee shops, library, but I try to be active as much as I can, and that's completely been a game changer. And people would say, "Oh, well, okay, that says that you should just go work in an office." Absolutely not. Working remotely is the only way I'm going to work. But working in a place that I choose, whether it's a coffee shop, whether it's at home, whether it's sitting outside at a table, wherever it may be, wherever I can be productive and work, that's important to me because that allows me to enjoy what it is I'm truly doing. And again, software development, it's exclusively on my it's on a computer, at least the type of programming that I do. And so I don't have to physically be present at an office to get my job done. And this has been not only transformational in my life to work remotely, but it's really made me rethink about how I'm looking at work in general. Because way too many people do not like their jobs. And life, again, is simply too short to not like your job because we only get one shot at this whole thing, life. And if you don't enjoy a third of it, I mean, it's just unfortunate. It's sad that that is the case. And after I've been rethinking about it, after I've been kind of reframing how I've been thinking about software development, I really still come back to the belief that this is one of the greatest careers that you can pursue in 2025. It blends the rare mix of creativity, problem solving, um, intellectually challenging, intellectually stimulating. There's, you know, I think a healthy balance of meetings, a healthy balance of working alone. You can work wherever you want, and you largely define how successful you're going to be. And that's the one thing that makes this career stand out from a lot of others. Because if I choose to read 10 books this year on software development, not only is it going to make me a better developer or write better code, but it's going to just help me out a ton professionally because I'm going to know a lot more. And that is not that common to find that in a career. Usually you're tied to, you know, something outside of your control that, you're just waiting on some raise or you're waiting on, until you get to, 5 years worked or whatever. Software development is dependent on you learning. And as long as you continue learning, you're going to continue to succeed. But it comes with practice. You have to practice the technical skills, you have to practice speaking, you have to practice system design, you have to practice meetings. I think meetings take practice to honestly get good at. if we want to word it like that. But it takes time and it takes practice. But it's up to you to do that. And that's why I like this job so much, because I can sit down, I can read a book on SQL, and I can directly apply that knowledge to my job and to my overall success in life. And I love the fact that it makes so much of what I'm reading directly applicable to my job and my success, because it's like when you play video games and you figured out a cheat code. You figured out, oh, up A B, LR, whatever it is. That's what it feels like. It's like, if I get this specific combination of books, then I'm going to get here. And that's just wild to think about, because I don't know how many other things, like, I, apart from, like, going into school and getting an additional degree to get this job, like, this is external to a degree. This is just like, once you're already working, if you read these books, then you can do this, or you can shift entirely to do a different type of programming, and it's entirely up to you. And I like the freedom in it, and I think the freedom aspect combined with the creativity of it, because I'm big on the creativity of the job. I think that's so important, that creativity is fostered in this career, because it's so important to good problem solving, but it's good for system design too, because I feel like there's still creative solutions to problems that are waiting to be solved. And this job is a very creative job. And I feel like people get the impression that this job is very, binary, black and white. It's really, really not. It's really a creative pursuit, in my opinion. Because once you get the technical skills, like, once you like have a good, like, proficiency in, like, whatever language it is, and once you have a good proficiency in the tooling and the systems and all that stuff, once you have that down, it's kind of like taking that, like taking a language, and crafting it into a story, right? That in itself is an art. If you read a well-written story, you don't even realize you're reading it, because it just kind of like, you get thrown into the story, you get thrown into the characters, right? You don't even realize time is passing. That is really the romanticized pursuit of this career, right? You want to get to that spot where you're just kind of like, you don't even really think about, like, the languages. What you're really more concerned about is crafting that into this, well written system, well written story. And that's why it's so interesting, and that's why I like talking about it so much, is because the more I talk about it, the more ideas I get, and the more books I want to read about it. And a telling thing for me is that when I go and read the books, I don't really, like, I like reading them. And, in part, I've talked about in a previous video, in part I have to read them because that's the only way that I've found to be successful in this job. But it's not solely a necessity. Like, I actually like reading the stuff. Like, I don't, because I just see the direct applicability of it. If I didn't see the direct applicability of what I was reading, odds are I probably wouldn't be interested in reading it at all. But because I do, it's kind of fun, because I'm thinking about problems, and I'm thinking about, oh, maybe I could use that here, maybe I could plug that here, or maybe I could make a YouTube video on it, maybe I could make content on it, right? And it's just fun, because, like, I don't know how many other things in life really provide that opportunity. And I really think that a lot of it you are in control of, in terms of, like, how much you know and what path you take. And that's another thing. The path isn't that defined either, right? There's levels, or, 1, 2, 3, 4. If it gets up to that, you have senior, lead, and whatever beyond that. Or you can go into manager. You can become a manager in this job, and then you can go and be maybe a director, or whatever else you want to do. But if you want to stay programming, you can stay programming. But if you want to make the shift to management, you can do that. or you can jump into project management. And there's so many different jumps you can make. But again, it's up to you. And that's what I find really interesting because I can kind of see, looking into the future, I can kind of like hopefully see like a path that I could take. But if I get, let's say tired of programming, right? I'm just tired of writing for loops, or I'm tired of, doing null checks, or, running into object reference errors for the millionth time, right? Tired of all that. So now I want to move into some kind of management. Maybe it's, whatever it is. I don't think that I will. I think I'll probably stay, I think, in some kind of technical role, is what I see myself doing. But you never know. That's part of the journey, right? You have to be up for whatever. Um, but that's some of the reasons I like this job so much. And I really think that if we talk about it in that way of like the freedom of the job and just the opportunity of what you can do with like this learning and the knowledge that you accumulate and how you can directly apply that, I feel like that should get people excited and get people motivated to try to jump into this career. And I understand completely that it's a difficult time to get an entry level job in this career, but just keep trying, just keep applying, just keep honing your skills, working on personal projects, and just keep at it because once you're in, and then you just take off from there. So hopefully this is encouraging because it's I think it is going to be a good career. It's going to be challenging and there's going to be unforeseen difficulties that you will inevitably come across just like in any other career, and I've documented those difficulties for me that I've run into on this channel for years. And so don't be naive to the fact that there will be difficulties, you will have to get over obstacles, but you will get over them. And I think that that's the important thing to remember. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one.